So first about Amer Sports, we're about sports only, as the name says. We're owners of famous brands like Atomic, Salomon, Arc'teryx, Suunto. Maybe if you're a cyclist you would recognize Mavic or Envy, and a few others. So we're a sporting goods company. IoT and the opportunity. In one word, the opportunity for us is big. It's millions of consumers, hundreds of millions of revenue for us. And we got an early start in the IoT industry and IoT products. Maybe to tell a little bit more, so two of our businesses have a long history in IoT. So in a way that if you think of sports watches at Suunto and cardio equipment at Precor, 10, 20 years ago they were not IoT devices. Today they are. So we had a kind of an advanced start in making those devices IoT capable over the last couple of years. They're already moving to mainstream, at least for our company. A couple years ago, to us, it looked that IoT sensors were kind of ahead of AI, but if I think right now, it's the other way around. I think AI technologies have matured fast, so I'm likening it to almost like putting gasoline to the flames. So as soon as we get more IoT, there's so much more we can do with AI and machine learning, and I'll give you a few examples. A cool example that is in a practical everyday use for us today is with Suunto. So just a few years ago, you would record your exercise on a smartwatch. You would then look at your personal diary on a web interface or just on the watch. Today, as of last 2 years, we offer you a highly curated view to peer groups. So let's say you're training for half a marathon. Instead of looking at your own stats, if you're a 35-year-old male wanting to do an under 2-hour run, we pull from hundreds of millions of workouts what your age people, how much they need to run per week to get to under 2-hour race. That's AI for you, and it's there, and it's there today. What other technologies are key? I'd say there's two big things that come to mind. One is wide area connectivity. So in practice, cellular or other means to build low cost, low power, requiring solutions that allow an IoT device communicate in a wide area. Also roam internationally, maybe have a software SIM and lower cost of regulation or standardization or getting the product to market. That would be one. The other would be basically any technology that makes it easier for companies to exchange data with each other. Typically software technologies that allow you to build APIs, high quality APIs. In what sectors of the economy will IoT impact most? The easy answer would be in many, almost any. I'm tempted to say sports. We know that this industry from inside out. Related is health. There's reports that over 30% of US consumers already use some kind of a wearable today. Third would likely be home automation, and if there's a wild card, I'd say that it's if you're selling anything. So using IoT generated data and then tailoring your offering or making your offering more relevant to the consumer. We're doing at Amer Sports, we're doing some cool things to benefit the customer from IoT. There's a product that we recently announced. In fact, I'm showing it here. It's called Wilson X, a football. So previously you used to judge a good throw by the sound of it. It's still, good throw still makes a nice sound, but the experience is somehow more quantified if the sensor inside the ball, which we have inside Wilson X, tells you how many reps per minute the ball does, or how clean the spiral of the ball is. Those are the two factors that define how good your throw is. So user gets easy stats, and you can see your people who you coach or your son or daughter improve the throws as they go. So it's a very classic IoT. There's a sensor inside the ball, algorithms that detect movement, and then they're showcased on a mobile interface, and the data is stored in the cloud. That would be one example. Another one that I love is, and people are kind of amazed about it, is for those who love adventure or hiking. So we built a service called, it's an AI-powered service called Suunto Movie. So if you go on a hike, or let's say you climb a hill or mountain, once you've synced your IoT device with the cloud, our AI generates a movie. Basically, it takes the data about the physical environment you were in, the lighting conditions, how your trek moved inside it, and you have a memento that becomes not only a memento but easily a social object if you share it with friends and share it with others who were not on the hike, or maybe they were there with you. Those would be a couple of examples of what we're doing with AI. What does the industry need to do to keep IoT secure? Well, first of all, the industry needs to keep IoT secure. It's important. Once it's secure, there'll be more consumers on IoT devices. What EU has done with the GDPR is a great start. So just by implementing that, the industry will go a long way, and we're certainly part of implementing that standard. And once that's in place, there is a continued. I trust that it will add to consumers' trust on how their data is treated, and that will help everyone in the industry. What the EU has done is I think is exactly the right kind of a directional thing. So in a way, raising the bar for everyone and helping consumers get a peace of mind. Then there's technology stuff and things that the companies need to do, and I'd kind of use secure by design as a term, and for me there would be a couple of key elements that come with that. One would be that the data that flows from an IoT device that's encrypted, and secondly that you store the data, and we store the data that's generated from the device separately from personal data and the user's personal data. That makes life of hackers much harder, much more difficult. What is the best way? The best way to secure an individual's privacy, I'd say, is to follow that secure by design principle, or principle of keeping the user data, user's personal data, and the data generated by the machine separately, and also following an encryption when data is transferred. There's definitely other technologies, and that area keeps moving, but I'd say that, you know, doing at least those is a good start. For us, a key initiative for us is to implement and comply with the GDPR directives that the EU is putting in place, and equally by following and implementing latest identity and access management technologies and solutions. So for us, that has been an area where we have invested money as a company to do that.